This is going to be real short. I just happened to cross this video of amateur footage of the sun, and I'm just going to play the last 10 seconds of it because look at that. I'm going to pause it. What is that? People will say that is a solar flare, but it's not. It's not even moving. I'll back it up here in a second, but the thing is, it's like a piece of cotton hanging off the thing. It doesn't look like, I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying it doesn't look like fire or plasma or anything like that. It looks like a projection off the sun that is not a gaseous state. It looks like a solid almost, or something cloud-like. I don't know. But let me run this back a little bit farther, and I'll put a link in the chat here. But this is amateur footage. I think someone in Russia. And I'm going to pause it there. I can believe that much detail. I've never seen anything but a solid, orange because of my filter, but normally it looks white. But it is brighter in the middle. It tells me it's probably spherical, the sun. But the thing is, I've seen sunspots too, and they do look like indentations, and any amateur footage I've seen of the sun, matches up what I've seen. But I've never seen this kind of swirly texture on the sun in anything I have, but I'm not saying it's impossible. But what I don't see is that it's moving. I don't see swirling fire. I don't see a cauldron like a volcano or lava or something like that. I don't see it moving around. Let me back that up just a little bit again. It's not acting like anything you see it from any kind of, high-powered space footage. Let me back this up here a little bit. There was a sunspot. And like I said, I can believe those. They're kind of stripy around the sunspots. I've seen that myself. But I don't see the surface moving a whole lot. I don't know. Maybe it's too slow to see, like evolution. But the thing is that it doesn't look like anything you see from official science footage. That's why I wanted to look for amateur footage. They have different, better equipment than I have. But that projection is what really got me. And like I said, I don't see things shooting out of the surface and curling back and doing all these things. I see something very stationary that is at a fixed height. It may come and go, but the point is that this is not what you see from official sources. The only other thing I was going to do is just show real quick a composite moon picture that I took. A composite because I kind of stacked it in the most manual, seat of the pants way. This is two pictures on top of each other. One with, the top picture has lower opacity. But that's the best shot I think I've had of the moon. And this is from this past week. So there you go. There's the moon. This supposedly is the Sea of Tranquility, I believe, where they supposedly landed and all that. And I think I can zoom in on this. You know what else you don't see on the moon, like I think I've mentioned before, is sand dunes. Gray sand dunes like you'd see on all the official footage. If I know, yeah, we're supposed to be too far away, but still, I have seen no evidence of that. But I think I can do this too. I think that's a Copernican, or no, that's Tycho crater, and then Copernicus crater, Apian Mountains, and all those things. But anyway, that's a moon picture. I think I have some sun ones also. There's my sunspots. They're not real sharp, but you see there's a dark area and then a grayer area. And if I have one of my sharper images of that, you would see that it's kind of stripy and all that. But anyway, the sun is perplexing, just as, I'm going to say probably not as perplexing as the moon, but pretty perplexing too, according to that footage that I just showed, and I will show again one more time. But there's a close-up of my own picture of sunspots. And like I said, you can see there's gray around it, and when it's real sharp, you can see it's stripy gray, like it's curling into that dark spot, like it's indented. That's just what it looks like. And nothing really much else to see. These were recent. It's again turning like a clock. It goes clockwise. These pictures aren't in order by time, but that's what I've always seen, is clockwise motion. When there's spots, you can check which way they're turning. It's sunrise one day this past winter, some clouds. Airplane, I took just a grab shot with the P900, no tripod. I was able to catch that one. And some more moon shots. But I have to say the sun and the moon do look spherical. But the moon, when it's almost full like that, and when it's full especially, it looks like it's glowing from within. But when you have less than full, like if I zoom in on the edge here, that's clearly externally lit, because look at the shadows. Okay. So which is it? Well, as you might have seen if you've looked at my moon video from way back, I have a trackball that looks for all the world like a solid ball, but if you put a strong flashlight right on it, it seems to glow from within because it's translucent. It's not entirely solid. It looks solid to the eye, but by the behavior of putting a strong light on it, you can tell that it is not entirely solid. There's some parts of it are see-through. So light gets in from the outside and it comes out as though it's being, and it's a different color too, because people wonder, why is it that moonlight is not the same color as sunlight and all this? And it's like, well, it doesn't have to be. Just because it's getting energy from the sun doesn't mean that it's going to emit it back out exactly the same way it came in. So that's why I say that the moon is translucent and that it gets externally lit, again, looking at those shadows down there, but that some of the light gets inside and bounces around and comes back out and, is affected by the moon. So anyway, I don't see any of that having to do with Earth shape, if anybody's wondering. This shot of the moon is more of what I call the clay ball. I've obviously messed with the brightness and contrast and things, but it does seem to be a solid object to me. Some people will say it's projected, but that is something that they would have to demonstrate, that there's a projector somewhere. That the sun and moon move in ways that are physically impossible, I don't dispute at all. If you see my videos challenging standard cosmology, the sun, and then one on the moon, you can see why I think there's a better explanation than projection. I think there's lensing and distortion that can account for those movements and for what is called the personal sun. So anyway, mainly just now, I wanted to, let me get that cursor out of the way, look at the sun and moon pictures that I've had. And these aren't all recent ones, but let's see. Yeah, this is from June. This is from this month. So I've been trying to track it at least until it got nearly full. Weather doesn't always cooperate, but I don't know why it's not moving forward. You can see also that the moon rotates. It's just not as obvious. It's not as fast as the sun, because the sun rotation you can see on a given day, so anyway, yeah, that's the actual color of the moon a few nights ago. This was the 27th. So then we had a day of rain in there somewhere in this past week, but you can see that it does rotate and looks to be a solid object. And like I said, I think it's translucent. It gets light from the sun, which explains shadow surfaces, but also emits it back out. Some of the sunlight gets inside and comes back out, and that's moonlight. So anyway, I'm going to stop sharing that and go back to the video. If I can find the right screen. There it is. And let's play this over and hope I don't get a copyright or something. And I'm not really trying to steal it. I will give the link. This channel is called My Solar System, published January 22nd, 2017. And says that they're using a 100 millimeter TAL plus Coronado PST, whatever those are, monochrome camera, location Moscow, Russia, monochrome camera, orange color added. But like I said, what I don't see here is a seething cauldron of heat or plasma or anything like that. And that projection, if that's a solar flare, it looks to me more like cotton candy. I don't know. It's not moving. So that's mainly what I wanted to do. Let me, since there's nobody in the chat, which I don't, just Friday afternoon, nobody's going to be here anyway, but I think, I thought I could paste it there. Sometimes these, for whatever reason, won't let me paste directly from YouTube. So let me see if I can get that to share again. Let me copy. And sometimes if I paste things into a word processor, I guess it maybe strips out something, it'll let me, still won't let me paste it in the chat. I don't know what it is about this, but I think you could see it on screen, but I'll try putting it in the description. Never mind. If I get struck, I get struck. But anyway, that's really all I had to do. The hangout on is the sun is perplexing, but it's at the same time not doing what you see on a science show. All right. Hope somebody watches it and makes a comment and see what you think.